Hey, friends. Good morning. Good morning. We are finding our way. Good morning, everybody. It is 11:11. Good morning. Good morning. Hey, Vicky. Hope you are doing all right on this soggy morning. Good morning, Robin Carden. Woohoo! John Wells, everybody. So good to see you, John. Jamie, how you healing, honey? I hope it's going well. Hope you're leaping. Good morning, Donna. So good to see you this morning. I hope you are well. Things are going good. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. So glad you are here. Is it? How is it? Call me Eileen. Oh, so many responses. Good morning, everybody. So glad you're journeying with us today on this. Good morning, Bob Guinan. Eileen. I get it. Eileen. It's like a joke, except jokes are funny. Glad you're doing well, Donna. That's good to hear. Good morning, everybody. So glad you are here on this 11:11. Uh, we are coming up on another week together. Here we are. So it is this morning, Tuesday, the 20th day of October. The 20th day of October. Today's date is actually 10/20/2020. That we can do all kinds of fun things. Good morning, Priscilla. That and I got to thinking these days about and what I want to bring us to this morning is part of our journeying around like getting it right or getting it wrong. And what? Hey, good morning, Shannon Landry. Great to see you. How was the show? How was? Tell me. Was the Ghost of Paul Revere everything you hoped it would be? Was it awesome? I know it was awesome because they're awesome, but I am so jealous. I hope it was great. Uh, so we, so this whole notion of that's right. If it weren't for COVID, you wouldn't be able to see this. That's right. There, we must find our graces where we find them. That is so true, Donna. Thank you for that. That we're so. I want to start us with this thing from Proverbs because I want to spend. I love Proverbs and we spend little time on them and we don't spend a lot of time with them, but they're just so rich. Now the Proverbs, if you don't know what they were originally in the Old Testament, is that they were what was given to often a boy for kind of initial instruction on how to be in the world. But, I'm a little bit of a pueri eternus anyway. I'm kind of a little bit of an eternal boy. It's so awesome. I know they were. Oh, you're killing me with that. Like, it's so great. That If you don't know, Sharon got to go see more rapidly becoming one of my favorite bands, the Ghosts of Paul Revere, and she got to go see them in live a little while ago, which was just phenomenal. So, and I didn't get to see them, but the fact that she was there, like that brings me joy, and the fact that you're flourishing in these days is good stuff. Okay, Proverbs. Let's spend a little time in Proverbs because it's worth it. It's Proverbs was this teaching that was often given to a young man, 12, 13, 14, as they were coming of age and as a way of instruction about how they should be in the world. And so it's all these pithy little phrases about, do this, don't do that, be this way, don't be that way, as a way of initial instruction and wisdom. But they've got such richness in them. And there's one of them and some are more famous than others, obviously, but one of them that's come up is this theme that's been coming up for me a lot lately, and I think that people keep encountering in these days. And it is, and so I want to read you this. It's just a couple of lines, and this is from the 24th chapter of Proverbs. So he says, my son, eat honey, for it is good, and the drippings of the honeycomb are sweet to your taste. Know that wisdom is such to your soul. If you find it, there will be a future, and your hope will not be cut off. Lie not in wait as a wicked man against the dwelling of the righteous. Do no violence to his home. For the righteous falls 7 times and rises again, but the wicked stumble in times of calamity. Now, first, not only is it talking to us, not only is it telling us like you should eat candy, like I mean, honey was the candy of the ancient world, so it's like you should just start pounding the Snickers bars, like aren't those good? Like that, it's not like so. Again, not hard to see how a 12-year-old might be like, yay, like that. But this whole notion of that this is the way wisdom is for our soul. It's like candy for our soul. It is like this sweetness, and it's what brings us a future. Is this notion of our own wisdom that we gain over time, that next stanza brings us to like, well, what does that start to look like a little bit? If we understand that wisdom has a sweetness to it. What is it? What are the components of it? And what it says, and I think these two, the 15th and 16th verse, are like, you could spend a lifetime just in the wisdom of these trying to get them. And that's what I love about the Proverbs, is just one line after another of deep invitations, of deep doorways into contemplation and into thoughts about how we might be. And he says, lie not in wait for as a wicked man, the dwelling of the righteous. Do not do violence to his home. This notion that we, walking through the world, picking out all the things that are wrong in the world is not the doorway to wisdom, nor is it the doorway to happiness. It is the doorway to misery. If all we see in the world is miserable things, and all we see in ourselves are miserable things, and it leads us to this point. So if all we're doing is waiting in ambush to find the next thing that is wrong in our life, oh, man, it's a hard way to go through the world. But it says, and then the next line is this: for the righteous falls 7 times and rises again. And rises again. But the wicked stumble in times of calamity. Friends, I don't know about you, but in my journey in this time, like, and this is as much an inner thing as it is an outer thing. That the parts of me that are just not helpful, like, really have been jamming me up. I mean, they've been stumbling in this time. And yet there's this way in which it is this invitation that I have to rise again. That is a part that is at the core of my wisdom. And if I have any at all to offer, it is at the core of who and what I am, that I might rise again. Richard Rohr writes a wonderful book called Falling Upwards. And in it, he contends that the journey of the spiritual life is that we fall down and then we rise up. But when we fall down and rise up, we don't rise up in the same place. We're actually, in our falling down, we're actually risen to a little bit higher place. That our landing is actually a little higher than the place where we fell. And so that our progress is not progress of this kind of, upward way of being more and more virtuous, more and more righteous, more and more right, more and more wise, more and more steady. But it is this constant effort of putting forward our leaning into the world and falling flat on our face. And then as we rise, we are placed, and not of our own effort, but we are placed by a God that loves us a little higher on the ladder. That it's not our rising in our own effort. It is our encountering of the sweetness. Eat honey, for it is good. Suck down those chocolates because they are good. And what they are is that what we know is that the wisdom is the same for our soul. It's so rich. There's a story that comes from the Desert Fathers that They were early in Christianity, and they went off into the desert to kind of try and figure things out. And there was a traveler that would come by every so often, and they would look to their little cells up on the hill, and he would say, finally, when he stopped one of them one day, he says, "What is it that you do up there? What do you do all day up there?" And the desert father thought for a minute, and he said, "We fall down and we get up. We fall down and we get up, and we fall down and we rise again." Friends, the journey of rising again, the journey of growing in wisdom, the journey of this life is that it is not about finding all of the nits to pick in our world and making sure that we're removing all the wrong things out there, ensuring that we're listening to the right news channels, or we're listening to the news at all. Shut off your television. I haven't said that early enough. Shut off your television. That take these pieces out and take these pieces out so that we can just get down to our virtuous and righteous selves. No, that's just all that does is build us a lens for the world of everything that's wrong with the world. Our journeying is in continuing to step into our lives, continuing to love the people around them when they disappoint us, continuing to work at our jobs even though they're imperfect, continuing to love the people around us even though they don't return our calls when we want them to, continuing to give ourselves to the participation in the world even though the world can be this gnarly snaggletooth kind of place, continuing to love into it and knowing that we're going to do it imperfectly, knowing that at some point we'll hit a stumbling point and fall on our face, and that in our falling, in our effort, in our brokenness, in our tripping up, we'll find ourselves being risen in wisdom and in character to a higher place than we ever could have attained on our own. Because we really can't attain much on our own at all. I know a lot of people that have been white knuckling their way through this whole time, this whole 6 months. They're just, we can hold on for 5 more minutes and get through this. And they see all the things that are wrong with the world and can't even give themselves permission to simply understand that there's a falling here. There's a falling for all of us. This whole time is a falling time. And that in that falling, I've said this before, but it bears repeating. We're in a time of deceleration. We've never experienced a time of deceleration in our entire lives, friends. You and I don't care how long you've been alive. Things in the world have been moving faster and faster and faster and faster and faster your entire life. I don't care if you are 90 years old listening to my voice. Throughout modernity, things have been going cars have been going faster. Information's been going faster. We've been expected to work faster. Well, everything has been moving faster and faster and faster and faster and faster. This is the first time, these past 6 months, that we've encountered a time of deceleration. And we have no way to understand how to articulate that, because we have no tools for it. We don't understand how to deal in a time of deceleration. We're not born for it. All of our muscles are built for us to go forward, and we have nothing but weak little muscles in our bodies of deceleration. We don't know how to handle it. This is a time of falling down. The gift of falling down is that we will be risen up. We will be resurrected. We will be brought to the place where if we fall down 7 times and we rise again, we'll taste the wisdom, the sweetness of wisdom upon our face, upon our lips. And the sweetness and the peace and the grace and the innocence of our heart that is risen up in our journeying and in our falling upwards. All right, friends, that's my hope for you today, is that you'll extend yourselves a little grace in your falling, because it's critically important. It's, in fact, the most important thing we might do in our lives is simply permit ourselves to be raised up as we fall. Permit ourselves to know grace as we have been broken. Permit ourselves to be loved by the God who made us and who journeys with us and ahead of us and behind us and makes all things right and good and true. All right, friends, that is great. Robin says we're reading that in one of our groups. I can't recommend it highly enough. Oh yes, yeah. Oh, that's great. That's right. You're reading a Falling Upwards. That is so awesome. Hey, Amy. Hey, Roselia. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Sorry, I just saw you popping in now. Audrey. Good morning. That is so great. Good, good, good. Yes, yes. All right. Well, friends, I will be back here tomorrow at 11:11. I am so thrilled that you have been here today and that you are part of this. Encourage each other, love one another, dare to fall, dare to fall, and know that that in it, dare to know that in your falling, you will be raised up. Peace and grace, my friends.